Hello and welcome back to the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet. You are watching Daily Dive. It is Friday, April the 11th, 2025. I'm your host, Michael Carvelis, live in Guyton, Georgia. We are on this show via 12 Ounce Sports on X, YouTube, Roku, and Fire TV. On today's awesome show, we're going to talk to Adam Levi about three of the best games for this weekend. He'll analyze them in the numbers in every way he knows how. Betting angles from Pat Gregoire, Coolbet country manager, and of course NLL broadcaster himself, and predictions, myself and my predictions, my picks, and the crew's best bets. We want to first let you know this show is presented by the ticketing platform at 12onsports.com. Go to 12ozsports.com, click the tickets tab to get your National Lacrosse League tickets for less, or go to 12onsports.com/tickets. When you go there, you can experience every sport, not just the NLL, and all your favorite music artist concerts, not to mention Broadway and theater. Tickets on the 12onsports.com website. Without further ado, it's a man who's purchased a few of those. I'm lying. It is time for Adam Levi. Adam, what hat is that, sir?
This is from a music festival that I've been to 9 different times, going the 10th time this year in San Francisco. It's called Outside Lands. It's fantastic. If you don't know it, check it out. Amazing lineup, very diverse group of artists, food, wine, beer, everything you want.
Okay. The last two things are the best part about that, yeah. I love it. I think was your wife got a video of you recently? You were on your phone still checking things as you're like at this part just kind of dancing. I was like, come on.
Yeah. That was actually the last 2 Sundays. There's been those Sunday games, and they kind of have
Jeez.
They've overlapped some of our plans, and so the NLL will always be on my mind as long as games are going on, and I love to keep track of what's going on.
As it should be, by the way. What is the latest on Lacrosse Matrix podcast? I know have you done the 100th episode? I know you had the 99th. I didn't know if you were doing the 100th one this week.
Yeah, so the 100th one was going to be this week. We've had some changes up in our schedule this week, so the 100th episode is going to air early next week. It's going to give everyone a full week ahead of the final weekend of NLL regular season play to enjoy that awesome episode. I won't divulge yet who the guest is, but it's someone who we all know and love and appreciate very, very much in the world of the NLL and box lacrosse. So stay tuned for that one. But this week was Cody Jamieson of the Halifax Thunderbirds. It was an awesome episode. We talked about so many different things, and Cody's just so candid and so open about his feelings on things and his assessment of what's going on with the team. So that's an awesome episode. And I think that what really stood out to me was talking about why he loves the game of lacrosse and why you all should love the game of lacrosse as well. So definitely go check that out on Spotify and the Lacrosse Culture Daily Podcast Network.
Woo! Hear that? 12 on Sports. They're coming for us. All right. I have no idea who the 100th episode guest is, but
if you had to take a guess.
It was a giveaway on Twitter, dude. But he loves numbers as much as I do. Could it be Graham Perro? Come on, man.
Maybe it is.
Duh,
maybe it's not.
Maybe.
Maybe it's a world class mathematician, Mike, who just happens to love lacrosse. We don't know.
So Graham Perro.
Is he a world class mathematician? He's very good with numbers. That is for sure.
And web design. Good Lord, that guy's love it. NLStats.com, by the way. And after you're done drinking, what's up, Kai the goalie?
This is green tea. Really good for the body and for the mind.
Jeez, your wife has got you in shambles. I'm kidding.
Oh, it's delicious. It's good for you.
I was going to ask you about Preston's. Has he made his Preston's picks? Like, where are they posted? That's what I should ask.
Yep, they are already posted.
Ooh.
He clearly loves the Halifax Thunderbirds. I'm not going to give away any other picks, but I want to say that almost every week, if not every single week this season, he's gone with the Thunderbirds. The most consistent pick for him. And something cool that I was noting out, and Mike, Pat can talk about this, but I was looking at the cool bet odds, because if you do a parlay for best picks this week, it's plus 4,333. So a $5 bet would win you about $220. So, if you just want to have a little bit of fun, throw a couple bucks around and see if Preston can steer you in the right direction, why not try it?
I don't know if that's legal to throw a kid on a betting advertising platform. I mean, I guess if the father signs, I don't know. Let's get to the games.
I'm no lawyer, Mike. I'm just trying to get my son famous.
That's a good point. El Capitan pick says 100th episode will be El Cap on. Okay, this man. Man, that's Captain. Whatever. All righty. Now we're going to get into the games that Adam chose. Two of them are actually the same as Pat's, and it's the first two we're going to talk about. So the only game tonight is going. Look, a new. What is it with all these new commenters? I love you guys. Wait till they see 4 o'clock. It's gonna be even better. Anyways, Vancouver at Toronto tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern. A little bit late, but not too late. Actually, it's Vancouver Vancouver at Toronto.
Yeah.
Listen, man, Del Bianco. I know people are going to try to sneak him into MVP, but he's been super valuable if there's a 6-week version of that award. I'll put it that way. Yeah, maybe he'll be my 6-week MVP.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that, and I saw your rant, as we'll call it, on that whole situation, and I have to say, well, it complicates things, because I think that we can say, let's say the Warriors go on, they win their last 2, and then, of course, let's say they even go on a deep playoff run, and, maybe they even win the championship. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but let's say it does, and it's all after Del Bianco comes in and shuts the door in between the pipes with the numbers that you had cited, great goals against average, great save percentage. I think it's hard to argue that he is not the most valuable player in the National Lacrosse League. Now, I do feel like there needs to be reasonable minimums in terms of times in between the pipes and games played in order to actually be eligible for the award. And I don't know if Pat knows those, or if someone could divulge what those are. Yep.
To your point, the NBA has a minimum 65 game requirement. I don't know if the NLL does, but yeah, go ahead.
Right.
That's
and
a good point.
To that point, if there are minimums, knowing exactly what those are for players, for runners, defensive players, for goaltenders, that would be great to know. But yeah, I think just based on the sheer numbers of games played, it would be hard to do that. However, Vancouver, they are rolling right now. I wrote a great piece. On Inside Lacrosse, all about how the times have changed in Vancouver. Some very dark times over the last decade in Vancouver, Mike. I think, I forget if it was this season I was including, or the last 2 seasons, or before Kurt Malosky came in, but a record of around 60 and 131 over the last 11 years. So not great. And some really, really rough seasons, a lot of mismanagement of draft picks, as I lay out in the piece. But talking to Matt Beers about that, things are really turning around right now. Toronto, a great effort against Las Vegas that didn't pan out for them this past weekend. However, I think all the talk has to be about Vancouver and continuing this stretch. I can't imagine anything else happening this weekend. I think that we really need to be talking about the fact that Vancouver is very, very likely going to be hosting a playoff game in the first round of the playoffs. And as we've all known, that once you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. And I think that having that fan base in Vancouver, which is the largest crowds they've ever had ever in any arena that they've played in, very exciting stuff going on there. And I am talking about the previous franchises in the organization's history. So, I think Vancouver is going to, there's just so much excitement around them. You should be watching every single game, because Christian Del Bianco, Keegan Ball, Adam Charlambides, Owen Grant. I mean, you have some great there. And this is just the start, Mike. This is just the beginning of a long, long run for Vancouver. You can clip it and bring that back up in a few years' time, and I know that I will still be right.
That was a great Jake Elliott reference. Clip it. Owen Grant, just a couple numbers. I was writing this down last night. Was comparing stuff. Anyways, Owen Grant has 14 goals this year.
Mm-hmm.
Also has is the only player, I believe, only player in the NLL. Might be the second. I think it's the only player in the NLL with 25 block shots and 25 caused turnovers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's no big deal.
He's been phenomenal, and I would say he and Jake Boudreau, and it depends where you want to throw Zach Courier in the conversation of transition player of the year.
Whenever he plays, yeah.
Yeah, because he's been playing so much forward. I know but if you're looking at just sheer transition players, who have been the epitome, I feel, of that two-way the entire season. Owen Grant and Jake Boudreau are right up there for transition player of the year. They've been phenomenal. Reed Bowering, even on a statistically off year, been improving defensively. And those veteran captains, Matt Beers, Ryan Dilks, those guys really.
I was going to say Ryan Dilks, yeah.
I mean, that team is amazing at the moment.
Yeah, and we don't need to pump our tires anymore, but you were right. And these Halifax people frustrate me.
Well, first of all, to answer the question literally, I surely hope not, Pat. I surely hope he is still alive and well for this weekend, because they need him against Buffalo, which, by the way, is going to be the game of the week, in my opinion. I can't wait for that. Ryan Tarafenko has been phenomenal. I think he definitely needs to be in the conversation as well. So they're your three finalist MVPs. I think that's fair to say. Our finalists candidates, excuse me. One
of those. We'll go with it.
I think that's a good point by Pat, bringing Ryan into that conversation. It's been great to see what some guys are doing in transition this year. So awesome to see them getting some love.
I just thought of an idea for a show, and I should text you this off air, but it feels like we should do like an awards preview show before the season ends, and while we're waiting for the playoffs. I don't know. We'll talk about that. That was a stupid thing to say alive. Anyways, next game, San Diego and Albany. Adam, full disclosure, I found myself picking Albany. Now, I don't do it by logos like Preston. Mm-hmm. Not saying he picked Albany. But, I mean, Alex Simmons, I still don't. Shout out to you, because you did say I don't think Alex Simmons re-injured himself, but seeing him ginger during that last game was frustrating. Assuming he plays this game and feels better, hopefully, and Albany's Doug Jamieson keeps locking it down, Adam, I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. I can't trust Chris Origlieri, and I can trust Doug Jamieson right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that is a fair point. And I think that, not to the extent that Brett Dobson has been unreliable, but Chris Origlieri right up there in that conversation of goaltenders who we thought would end up having improved in great years, not living up to that hype. And I
we're predicting a huge step, and they haven't taken it yet, but they're going to.
Yeah, and so, I think that, that's a very fair point, and Doug Jamieson is looking very good right now. Who was it? Colton Watkinson, I think the Firewolves put out a tweet that said they are coming to fight this weekend. I think that in front of another great crowd, I can't imagine it's going to be less than 6,000 again. So this is going to be the first time in Albany Firewolves history that they're going to have 6,000 plus fans in the arena in back-to-back games. Very exciting what's happening there. I do think that it's very possible that Albany wins this one. Now, in terms of Simmons, I had just gotten word, I think it was yesterday, that Alex Simmons has now officially signed with the Victoria Shamrocks over the summer. That is something that I had known was coming for a couple of months, and now it is finally official, so that is good to know.
You could have at least told us, Adam.
Yeah. And so that is exciting, but because the Firewolves are now out of playoff contention officially, and because Simmons has these plans for the summer, and he is joining them because he fully expects that, at least from the Western standpoint of Man Cup contention, that the Victoria Shamrocks are going to be that team competing in the Man Cup, with, by the way, the Man Cup being back out west this year, so a chance for Victoria to be hosting the Man Cup. I would think that Alex would want to be healthy as possible for that. So that would be very exciting for him. So we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, I do think, though, that it's going to be a good game. But I actually think that San Diego, with everything that is on the table for them, needing a win to really help them in the playoff situation, that is going to put them over the edge.
Hey, I'm excited. I guess the competition up there is the Warren Hillians. What is it called? The Six Nations Chiefs, right?
Yes.
So like
yes,
the East versus West, right?
Yes. Which I don't know if you saw this, Mike, but Carolina Chaos have placed Ian McKay on the holdout list, and that is due, as I'm hearing, because he will be joining the Six Nations Chiefs over the summer.
You know what? I want athletes to succeed, but everyone knows my thoughts on the other league, especially after their analysts just love me. By the way, I found out. I get exposed constantly, so I'm just very. Anyways, I'm happy for Ian McKay, but that's wow. Okay, stack the deck again, why don't you, boys?
Yeah.
Who do you think win this game? Seals, Firewolves?
I think Seals are going to win this one. I think it's going to be close, but I just the pride's on the line for Albany, especially last home game of the season. But I think San Diego pulls it off.
That's fair. I think I predicted like a 1-goal game, so I like that.
Mm-hmm. Also, Preston, Nikki, and I will all be at this game.
Let's go!
Excited about that.
A Dyson game winner.
Yeah, that would be amazing. And I know that actually, in regards to Alex Simmons, Alex is going to get a picture with Preston after the game, so that's going to be awesome.
Alex, I'm telling people right now, when that team gets better next year, which I think they will,
mm-hmm.
he's so charismatic. Like you can just tell
amazing.
that guy, he's so cool. So I love it.
Great.
Oh, so hey, Leroy will be in the den too. That's cool.
Very exciting. Can't wait to see him.
Coach Leroy, by the way. Finally, Georgia at Philadelphia, Swarm Wings. Adam, you chose this game, and I'm going to give full disclosure to Kai the goalie. After what happened to the Swarm, once we know last week, it was the Mitch Jones within the first minute of the game goes after Wiedemann for going after Brendan O'Neill.
Mm-hmm.
Swarm go up 6-1. Wings walk them down. I think Swarm actually win this game. What you got?
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, I'm going to, again, be consistent as I always am on this program. And so I'm going to say that San Diego is going to pull through against Albany because of the playoff push. Then I think that Georgia is going to do the same, plus the fact of redemption. I was very, very impressed with Philadelphia's fight in that game. I talked about it with Steven Stamp on our show, Inside the World of Box Lacrosse, which you can catch out on It Wobble. And, not only, the Mitch doesn't fight often. He has fought a couple of times throughout his lacrosse career, but it's not a very common thing for Mitch. And, for him to do that early in the game, to stick up for his buddy Brennan O'Neill was a big deal. And I think it did kind of energize and excite the club the rest of the way. And then you saw, I think, the really pivotal point, the Blaze Reardon goal in the fourth quarter, when he's diving through the crease, they review it, and it was a lengthy review. And you could see the anxiety and the tenseness on the entire bench, and they're like,
I saw it, yeah.
I can't believe this is happening again. And then it was called a good goal, and I've never seen that kind of goal be met with such excitement and joy on the bench. And then they proceeded to go on a 5-goal run, which sealed the game. Yep. So, that was a great moment for the Wings, very important for them, very exciting for them that they are, going in. And I think I had wrote about this in my By the Numbers. It's their 242nd home game, or 237th, something like that, home game in Philadelphia lacrosse history, in box lacrosse history. So they've been playing games there for a long time, Mike, and that doesn't actually include 1974 and 75 Wings either. So, very exciting to get to be in front of their home fans one more time. I think they'll be competitive, but I do think, once again, Georgia, Brett Dobson, that team says, no, not this time, guys, and they're going to pull it out.
One last thing I'll say, and I'll let you go here. Man, I'm going to be honest. The emotional roller coaster I know if Swarm lose, it will be a devastating loss, but if Wings can make it back-to-back against a good team, to let's say, sake of argument, it does fold for right now.
Mhm.
What a story. After going 8 losses in a row, to cap off your final home game with a win would be great. Unfortunately, sports don't work that way.
Yeah, and just looking at the numbers quickly, I mean, Philadelphia's lost their last 5 home games. They haven't won at home since January 20th. So,
Wow.
Back to kind of looking like last season when they went 1-8 at home. It shouldn't be this way where a team struggles this much at home. I hope that, as long as this team is in that barn and is playing in Philadelphia, that they can win as many home games as possible, because the fans of Philadelphia deserve it. And that roster, which is super, super talented, deserves more wins at home than that.
I said before, with like a top 5, easily a top 5 roster in the NLL, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed.
Alrighty. Adam, it's been fun, man. Hey, same time next week?
Of course, yeah. And what a week it's going to be. The last. Oh, no, you're right.
How dare you?
Sorry. There was yes, 4 p.m. Very excited for that. Very exciting stuff.
Thursday, yeah.
Congratulations on the new job. I hope that's working out well for you. But it's exciting. Things are always evolving and changing with your program, Mike, and it is still great and still awesome. And thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you, man. And I cannot wait for that 100th episode, by the way. Have a good weekend, Adam.
Yeah, with the mystery guest.
Whoa. All right, man. That is Preston's father, Adam Levy. You can follow him at Adam Levy LAX on Twitter, and at Adam_Levy_LAX on Instagram. I didn't post the Instagram story today because I'm just a slacker. Shame on me. But if you're joining from Instagram, you're like, oh crap, I didn't realize it was live. We're still live. All righty. We come back to this awesome show. Pat Gregoire's got the betting angles that you need, including 2 of the games that we just talked about and 1 more. You're not going to want to miss it. It's Daily Dive. Don't go anywhere. I know you won't.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track with Dust Pod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I know it didn't do it for you, but I will never explain how funny it is to me, Pat Gregoire. Hi, by the way.
Oh.
That I'm listening to this commercial and it just stops making sound while I'm still looking at a video. I'm like, I can't be the only one, man. Unbelievable.
I think you might be the only one.
Jeez, I'm like looking at you like, when's the show gonna start? Good Lord. How you been, man?
Doing great, buddy. Doing great. Getting ready for a double header this weekend, but I've been all just deep into the Masters. It's my favorite week of the year. But yeah, I taking a little break from Augusta, Georgia, to head down to Guyton, Georgia, to talk to my buddy Michael about some NLL betting this week.
I was gonna say, how'd you get in there? Good for you. I guess when you go with cool bet, you can get any key to anywhere, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, no, it's second last week of regular season. I cannot believe we're already here, Mike.
Oh, amen. That's what I'm saying. It's like I keep having to remind myself, I'm like kicking myself, hey, idiot, playoffs start in like 3 weeks. Hey.
Nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
Jeez.
But I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Yeah, absolutely.
So morning shoot around, by the way, I don't know if you've seen okay, Adam Levi. Nerds. You just want a bookshelf for those listening. I was gonna ask you because the morning shoot around podcast actually really had an early episode release yesterday. I guess no guest helps that. And that's not me taking a shot, I'm just making fun. But they were talking about like the playoffs being expanded possibly. And now Delbs did mention a great point, which I never really thought of. Having three-game playoff series and 18-game playoff, like 18-game regular season is like 9 and 18. It seems like a lot of playoffs for a little bit of games. What is your take on that? Because I love the conversation. Great podcast, by the way.
Well, thank you for spoiling it. I guess I don't have anything to listen to on my saga tonight. No, I'm kidding. I haven't listened yet. I have saved it. Literally, that's what I'm doing here.
Love them.
I'm yeah. Oh, it's great. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Shout out Tino for keeping it on the rails, being the host. But
that's right.
Have been awesome. They've been awesome.
I'll be quiet on the rails part.
Okay. Yes, no spoilers. I gotta listen to it.
Right.
But on that topic of conversation, I know Cody Jansen threw an absolute grenade out there and got roasted for it. I see what he's trying to say, but we do not need the minigame. We don't need the minigame. The minigame, no. Sorry, Cody. I love you. Yeah. We agree on a lot of things. That is one thing that we don't agree on. I do also think it's kind of crazy that round one is a single elimination, considering it's a one and done. You could see it as historic team like Buffalo get knocked off in the first round. But with that being said, that's also what kind of makes the NLL playoffs a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I agree with Delbs though. Like, of course, if you want to expand the playoffs, I think you got to expand the regular season, because when you have that many playoff games in comparison of a regular season, I think what we need to worry about first is expanding the regular season, adding on a couple of extra weeks, adding on even just simply enough, getting the games to 20, 10 home games, 10 away games. That is a good first step. Then we'll worry about the playoffs, the format. I would be more inclined of potentially maybe expanding the finals to a 5-game rather than changing things up with the first round.
I like the 1-3-5. I like that a lot, actually.
I think 1-3-5 would make more sense to me than going 3-3-3. That's just kind of the way we
don't get paid for that, though.
No, exactly. So we'll allow the smarter heads, the deeper pockets to make those decisions. You and I can just throw out our takes and see what happens.
I won't let you piggyback all this, but I'll just say it for people that won't. It's deeper pockets, not smarter heads, but we're going to leave that alone.
I'll allow you to say it. I'll allow you to say it.
So, that's not green tea like Adam had, is it?
No, this is good old fashioned H2O. I did have a green tea this morning though, so.
Oh, good. I'm on the times then.
I know. I know you're not a coffee guy. I am a coffee guy. I drink far, far too much coffee. I know I'm going to have a coffee later on today on my way to the game, or when I get to the arena. I usually like to have a coffee. So if I was up early, walking the dog, then wanted to watch the Masters, so I had my morning coffee. And then I usually have my midday coffee. So what I've been doing, especially on game days, instead of going 2 coffees in the morning, I'll go 1 coffee and then maybe a green tea, or no coffee, do a green tea and have my coffee later. There's a lot of talk of coffee. Although, shout out to the sponsors. It is Coffee Bros.
That's a good point.
There you go. Shout out them.
I love it. Coffee 12-ounce sports for those that don't catch the reference. That took me longer than I wanted to have that reference. Latest on cool bet for the people in the French area.
Yes, of course. So, lots going on at Coolbet. Like I mentioned, we've got
Masters,
our
yeah.
Masters going on, 30% profit boost every weekend. It's also a 25% profit boost for the NHL or the NBA. We know playoffs are just around the corner. I won't exactly say what's coming up, but some cool offers for that. And then, like you said, for the French folks in Montreal, or hey, wherever else you're located in Canada, big giveaway going on right now to win a trip for two for UFC 315 in Montreal. Go to coolbet.com, hit the promotions tab. You'll see the Best on Bets Montreal contest. Details down below in the description how you could possibly win a trip to see some UFC in Montreal.
Oh, I was ready for you to say that. Okay, good. And by the way, can you bet on Rory McIlroy's kid to hit a putt again? Because
I wish. Unfortunately, no, you can't. You cannot, but that would be a great bet.
jeez. And finally, OTCB podcast, the one with the C in the name, is a lot better. God, can you stop taking shots at them? But no, OTCB. What's the latest on there with you and Teddy Bear?
Yeah, Teddy Bear and I just recorded yesterday. Pod is actually live. We dropped it yesterday. Had Andrew Q on the program, the Clutch King himself. Great conversation with Q Ball, and yeah, Teddy and I chopped it up. So if you are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, take a listen. SoundCloud, I think we're on there too. So if you haven't listened yet, definitely listen and add it into your rotation.
I hope people understand the infomercial with Pat Gregoire is always fun, but let's get to the grind now.
Let's get to the good stuff.
I apologize. Vancouver at Toronto. I know a lot of people maybe and rightfully so are buying low in Toronto. My thing is for this game in the US, also just off DraftKings, Vancouver minus 1.5, totals at 21.5. It's actually 20 and a half on Bet365 for the record. I want people to know, like, for this game, why I think Warriors are going to easily win is because even if Holochuk the best case scenario, Holochuk makes a bunch of saves. You don't think Del Biego can be able to match that? So what's your take on Toronto having a puncher's chance in hell to win this game?
Well, let's not forget we saw this matchup at home for Vancouver, and they dominated. It was 13-8 was the final score. To be quite honest, that score didn't really tell the full story. Toronto did make a really late push and scored a bunch of goals in garbage time. I kind of agree with you. Right now, Coolbet, you can get the Vancouver Warriors minus 1.5 at plus 105. I know it's difficult for the team from out west to make that travel to Toronto, but I can say that they got in yesterday. They had a practice already in Brampton. They're at shoot around here today. So I think they can probably get that travel out of their legs. Plus, it's an 8 p.m. start. So it is even an hour later for these guys to get their bodies acclimatized to the West. I agree with you. I don't know if I'm going to lay, I think easy enough.
They're begging us. They're like saying, here, take it, man.
Exactly. Minus 133 Vancouver on the money line. Play it safe by one. I think if you're going to play a side, play that side. I don't trust Toronto enough to be like, oh, well, they're going to keep this close. But at the same time, this is just a fishy line. So where I think I'm rolling, and I know you brought up a great point about Christian Del Bianco and how well he's played. I'm going over 21.5. And if you can get it at that other book with the green logo, 20.5, I would be taking that. Absolutely. I know this total has only gone over 2 of the last 4 for Vancouver, but it's gone over in 3 of the last 4 games for Toronto. 27, 21, 23, and 27 are the totals for Toronto. No Tom Schreiber, certainly scary. No Brian Cameron, also scary for Toronto. But I think Vancouver could do a lot of the heavy lifting here.
I was going to say that too.
It's 21.5. That's not a ton of goals for 2 offenses. I know Toronto certainly has struggled at times to find the back of the net, but the way Josh Dowick is shooting the ball, the way that Chris Boucher has been playing as well, I think we'll see the transition game get involved as well. And I know last game, it was only 10 goals for Vancouver, but before that, the offense has come to life. Absolutely has come to life. Keegan Ball has been on fire. The offense has looked really good. Christian Del Bianco, everyone wants to talk about the transition and how much he's moving the ball. Yes, he is doing that, but what he's really doing is giving more time for that offense on the shot clock. But what also it's doing, they're just playing a little more carefree. And no knock on Aiden Walsh. Aiden Walsh has been phenomenal. Look at his numbers. Keegan Ball told me yesterday, he said, hey, this is not an Aiden Walsh thing. This is just Christian Del Bianco. When he's in between the pipes, the team just can play looser. They can play more free. They're not rushing things. If a goal goes in the back of the net, they feel like they don't have to play hero ball. And it's just, it starts with the back end. And look at, you see Christian Del Bianco, the way he plays. He's so cool, confident. That exudes to the rest of the roster, and you're really seeing that right now with Vancouver, especially offensively.
I could give you a gigantic hug because so many things you said just now, I could just piggyback off of. My mind just went berserk and like more than ever before. So last week you mentioned Vancouver only scoring 10. That's why I gave credit to Doug Jamieson because that was impressive. Shout out to Kurt Malofsky who copied what I said. I was the first one to say the extra 2 seconds were going to help people, just for the record.
Yep.
And finally,
Mike said it first.
Yeah, MS, very good, Pat.
Friend of the program.
Right. Tom Schreiber has only played 9 games this year. I believe it's been their last 9, correct? But I want to remind people the offense did not start clicking when Tom Schreiber came back. It started clicking when Challen Rogers came back. Remember that early in the season? I think if Vancouver can get, I like Holochuk. I'm not saying he won't be good, but if Vancouver can drop me 11 or 12, I think that's at least 11 or 12. So I think the Delb's pushing transition, the offense being balanced. I like it. I love the over. I was looking at that too. Now I did go with the money line because I felt like even minus 130-ish was too easy for me to take. Like, you think minus 1.5 plus is easy? I think minus 130 for Warriors win is even easier.
Yeah. So okay.
So I like the money line in the over for sure.
I'll sign off on the money line as well. I took him in my picks with Teddy this week. Still up a game. We're getting down at a crunch time here. So you know what? When I was looking at this and going over my notes, for whatever reason, 13-10 just screamed out to me. And I know that's a little bit sweaty for that number, but just 13-10 popped into my mind. I think Toronto plays this really tight. I think Vancouver just pulls away at the end. Keegan Ball takes over in the fourth quarter, and it's just a little too much. Wouldn't even be surprised if we see an empty net goal in there as well. But 13-10,
love those.
Where I'm leaning here.
Love those if you're on the over. And by the way, I had 13-9, and I think it could be 13-10. And I'm not saying Schreiber. I'm not doubting Schreiber. But we saw what happened with the Wings offense without Mitch Jones. Sometimes that little kick in the butt is like, oh, that's not, and it doesn't work. It's not sustainable. But for the one-offs, it works.
Yeah, well, all indications, it sounds like Schreiber won't be playing. You mentioned Challen Rogers, though. He's played.
I don't know what Silent Library is, Leroy, and you guys do, apparently.
That's hilarious. These are not most, I'd say maybe there's like 5 of these that are actually my books. The rest are my wife's, so I'll give her the credit. Challen Rogers, the last 2 games, has played offense. He's 9 points in those 2 games.
Woo!
If Tom Schreiber's not playing, which it sounds like he won't be playing, Rogers has been a nice addition to that offense. So, and he is friends with Christian Del Bianco. They both played junior and minor lacrosse together in Coquitlam. So I know Christian probably's got the book on Challen, but Challen also's got the book on Christian. It's a 2-way street there.
While we're having library stuff, here's mine. This is like my only book in my vicinity right now. Good for you, Pat.
I love it.
All righty. We're going to go to San Diego at Albany. I mentioned Doug Jamieson has been impressive. I said the quiet part out loud previously on the last segment that Christian Riglieri has not taken the big step yet, which of course he will, but that hasn't been now. Seals offense, it's been good, but it's not Wesley Berg. Like once he said when he saw an NLL box that was good, and then went back down to earth. Now, I got 11-10 Albany. I can see this game going either way. What's your take?
I don't have any numbers to back this. This is just totally a gut play. And we say this all the time on this show, Mike. Hungry dog runs faster. Hungry seal swims faster. This is a must win for the Seals. They absolutely need this one. I felt like against Halifax, they deserved a better fate. I'd say for about half that game, they were the better team. They dominated at the start, a little bit of a slow middle. And I felt like that when they came out on fire, they chased Warren Hill. they allowed Halifax to get back into that game, and a couple really bad bounces allowed Halifax to take over, and they really didn't give up from there. Again, this is a complete gut play. They're losers of their last two. They're sitting at 8-8. If they want to make the playoffs, I think not only do they have to win here today, they absolutely have to win. Sorry, not today, tomorrow. They got to win on the road in Albany, and it will help their chances if they win their final home game next week against Albany once again. I think if they can get to 10, they'll be sitting comfortable. If they split this week, get to 9, there's just too much that have to go into their out of their hands. If they lose both, kiss your playoff hopes goodbye. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, and by the way, I know people are like, "Well, really played good against Halifax." That's cool, but like for the season, he's got like 76.4, which I guess not a knock on him. Like things could be better, but I think Steele's like gut to the wall. Yeah, they got to win this game.
Are we saying though? Like, what do you get? 36 saves on about 50-ish shots. He was fine. 75.
Some apologies are allowed. Okay, I read what they said. Okay.
But like again, I'm a big fan of him. I think he's going to be a fantastic goalie. I agree with you. He hasn't taken and last week talking with Ty Merrill on our OTCB spaces that we had last minute.
That's right, you guys, and you messed it up. But go ahead.
Hey, someone messed it. He was like, I said to him, like, when you look at the numbers, they tell you that he's having a very average season. But when I've been looking and I've watched him, I think he's been fine. He's been solid, and he basically has said that. He hasn't taken that jump, and that the numbers really aren't tricking your eyes. It's true. It's just he hasn't been able to take that next step. And I think he has it in him. I think we've seen it at spurts. I'll tell you this, if San Diego gets into the playoffs as a lower seed, I don't know who wants to play that team in the first round.
Good point.
Especially if O'Reilly can turn things around.
My biggest strength for them is their transition / defense. They've got some mean young guys who will run past you or punch you in the face, whichever you choose. Like you want to get a 40-yard dash? Let's race. You want to get a boxing match? Like they can do either or. It's ridiculous. They're so dangerous, and gun to my head, O'Reilly might be insane in the playoffs. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, he has. I think he has no choice. He's got that 5-year contract. When it matters the most, he's got to step up, and I think he's got it in him to do it.
The play was Seals money line, right?
Seals money line, but I would maybe even be bold enough to say Seals -1.5 plus -149 is a bit too juicy. It's a bit of a coward's way out. So yeah, let's go Seals -1.5 on the road against an Albany team who virtually is essentially out of the playoffs. They've got to win out and hope some good things happen for them.
That's their they have the good jerseys this weekend, right? Though throwbacks.
Oh yes, the throwbacks. Yeah. Yes, they do.
I love them. Alrighty. Finally, here's a new game for the people now. The Rush at the Mammoth. Pat, I am like in levels of like shock on the show. This is one of my most shocked we've been on the show for the betting angles. How in the world do the Seals have a better chance to beat the Firewolves than the Rush do to beat the Mammoth in terms of money line? Like, I don't understand. Like, didn't we just see Saskatchewan, like, I try to be nice here, beat the living daylights out the Mammoth the other week? Like, what am I missing here?
So CoolBet has Saskatchewan at -152 and -1.5 at 105. So yeah, I guess our odds makers are seeing what you're seeing a little more, because it's -149 for the Seals. But again, I probably would have had this at -175, -200.
Yeah, I agree.
Somewhere in that ballpark. I think Saskatchewan wins this game. I think Saskatchewan wins this game big. What was the score last time they played? 17-12. And if it wasn't for a heroic performance by Ryan Lee, it could have been an even bigger blowout, dude. You're right. You're absolutely right. So when I look at Saskatchewan, though, here's the thing as well. It's not just that we have the previous history here, but look at what they've done after losses this year. So their first loss of the season, 12-11 in overtime to Philly. The next game, they beat the Desert Dogs 15-9. Then they follow up with a loss to the Toronto Rock 11-8. They follow it up with a 17-13 win over Albany. They lose 9-7 to Buffalo. They follow it up with a win against Georgia. This time, though, only a 1-goal game. Then the last win against Halifax, what do? Here's the game that we were talking about. 17-12 against Colorado. When this team loses, they get pissed. They are fired up, and they want to prove that that was just a blip on the radar. So of those, how many losses do they have this year? 5 of the
it's
5
now, which is crazy.
Which is crazy, still 5. They're still got a chance for third seed. They're probably going to be the second seed. Of the 5 wins after that loss, the 5 losses, they've followed up covering the spread 4 of those 5 times. So I'm taking it. I'm taking the cheese minus 1.5, minus 105 at CoolBet. I would also play the money line if you want to be a little bit safer, or if you want to build a parlay. I think that would be a nice piece to that parlay as well.
So Warriors money line, Seals spread, and Rush money line is plus 461. Now I'm going to be sexy here, like real sexy, and I'm going to put them all spreads. No, you didn't endorse this, but 682.
Okay.
Ooh. All right, baby.
Okay.
How we feeling?
Okay. All right. I like it. I like it.
Do you have time to do some team futures here?
I certainly do, because I think we won't stay too long on this, but there are a few.
Sure. Let me know your thoughts. Go ahead.
Sure. So I just we'll quickly run through it at CoolBet. I know Hutton Jackson does a really good job kind of tweeting out the discrepancies where you can get the best price, at least in the US. But here's what we've got on CoolBet right now. Buffalo Bandits plus 160, the Rush plus 500, San Diego plus 750, Halifax plus 900, Rochester plus 1050, Vancouver 14-1, Georgia 15-1, Calgary 19-1, Colorado 20-1, Ottawa 25-1, 75-1 for Toronto, Albany 125-1, and Philadelphia 125-1. I shouldn't say we, but those who are NLL bettors, you're telling me you can get the Warriors at 14-1. I've seen a 16-1 out there.
Or the Roughnecks.
Or even the Roughnecks at 19-1. How are you not considering sprinkling that and adding that to your portfolio with the championship pedigree that Colorado has, and for what we've seen from Vancouver the last 4 days? Yes, of course, I get Buffalo, Saskatchewan from start to finish have been by far the 2 best teams, the most rounded teams. No doubt. Halifax has been playing very well as well at 9-1. But I'm not saying don't do it. Hey, even at Rochester plus 1050 is also intriguing. But 14-1, 19-1 seems mightily disrespectful from the Bucks. I would certainly be saying those would be my 2 best future bets from a value standpoint. No doubt about it.
Pat Salt Bay sprinkled a little bit. I love it. I love it. Dude, I'm telling you, man, 20-1 for Calgary on Bet365, 14-1 for Vancouver. It's 12-1 for Rochester. All 3 of those. Why would I waste it on Buffalo or even the Rush? Give me everything I want.
Take the value. Take the value.
Yeah. We're not going here for a convenience store. We're going here for a value store, like a dollar store.
That's what it's all about, buddy. That's
I'm going to leak some DMs here. Pat Gregoire told me last week, I just realized my game tonight's at 8 o'clock.
It's true. It's true.
Well, are you locked in now?
I'm locked in, ready to go. I will be on. Hey, I mean, the worst, it's better that I noticed it then. And
all right.
It's better that the game's later and not earlier, because if I didn't know and I showed up, I'd just be super early. Whereas if it was earlier and I didn't show up, then I'd be super late. So no, we're good. We're good. 8 o'clock tonight, TSN. TSN will be myself. Ashley Docking will be in between the benches, and Matt Cullen will join me doing play-by-play. And I think I don't know if it's been out there in the ether, but I'm excited for this. Tomorrow, heading down to Buffalo, I'm going to be calling a game with the legend himself, John Gertler. Dave Buchanan as well. Yeah, I'm super stoked for the Saturday Showcase. Buffalo and Halifax. Our guy Steve Bermel unable to do the broadcast, so the opportunity came, and I'm so excited, so pumped up to so pumped up to call a game with John Gertler. The guy's an absolute legend. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be an awesome game, another sellout. And I was talking to Teddy on the pod this week. Yes, we know Banditland's going to show out, but anytime Banditland and Halifax get together, I know that's going to be littered with orange jerseys, but there's going to be a pocket where you're going to see some orange and purple. There's going to be a lot of Thunderbirds fans representing as well. It's going to be a great atmosphere, and it's going to be an awesome game. And I'm just so pumped to call a game with Gertz. Guy's an absolute legend.
Have you ever done a Gertler game before?
Never done a Gertler game before. No.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to meet him next week because I believe he's one of the road dogs, right?
Oh yeah, he is. He's on the road. He does the radio. He'll be doing morning pregame. Yeah, he's all over it. He is absolutely all over it.
I'm guaranteed to drive there next week now.
Yeah, you have to. Gertz is worth the price of admission alone. Right. Absolutely.
Price of admission. You act like I can't get in. Anyways, Pat, we appreciate you. Enjoy the games tonight. Try to save your voice. Try to drink the green tea, coffee. Don't combine it with Red Bull, or else we're gonna be in trouble.
No.
Whatever.
There'll be a lot of breaks if that happens. So.
And thanks for the futures. By the way, that was fun. That was a good idea by you.
No worries. I will say this. So next week, I should say next week. The fall, not same time, same place, or is it same time, same place? I don't know. I don't want to break any news that hasn't already. Has been broken. You've talked about it. But what I was going to say is not next week, the following week. Going to see if we can open up some interesting playoff odds once we see what the playoff matchups look like. We'll reopen some futures. We'll reopen that, and maybe if it is ready for the program next week. In 2 weeks, we can go over that and maybe there'll be some interesting lines exclusively offered at CoolBet. You do have a vote this year for the awards. I don't know if you're allowed to disclose that. Like, are you a voter this year or not? I haven't been told, but I don't know unless they take my vote. Well, maybe I'll be told if they haven't told you. Maybe I get a chance. I don't know. Who knows? I haven't heard, but I've voted the last, I don't know, quite a few. I can't remember how many years, but yes, I've been a voter for the last few. So hopefully we can do an award show if that somehow works with the I know you can't be too transparent. We can still have some fun with it. If absolutely. Again, I opened the can of worms with Adam. Might as well talk about it now. Thank you. Yeah, I was just going to say I'm usually pretty transparent when it comes to the ballots. I don't know how much we can officially throw out there, but hey, I'll get my tuxedo pressed and we'll be ready for an award show. I'll just ask you, hey Pat, why is Connor Fields the MVP? All right, see you, Mike. Thank you, sir. Pat Gregoire, everybody, follow him at P Greggy on Twitter and at P Greggy22 on Instagram. We come back to this awesome show. Let's talk about my predictions of game winners and, of course, the crew's best bets. It's been a fun, long show. We're going to wrap it up quickly. Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
You need tickets to that next event? We've got them. That's right, tickets.12ozsports.com. Get you to any sporting event, concert, theater event that you can think of. And the promo code 12OZ or ROME gets you an additional discount. Don't feed the massive ticket corporate machine. Go to tickets.12ozsports.com and enjoy the show. America, get back on track with DustPod's Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Reminder, there's an audio-only podcast version of the show. Head to Spotify and search Daily Dive. I haven't been uploading the Friday episodes because by the time I upload them, they're just not relevant anymore. So I'm happy to have you here on YouTube for that. By the way, next Thursday, brand new start time for this show for the rest of the season. Starting next Monday, that is. We're going to be on air 4 o'clock Eastern every day. Thanks for your flexibility as always. I know a lot of you voted for that time slot anyways, and I can get some more sleep. So that'll be so fun. Also, I haven't been doing the pick'em graphics. I've just been kind of posting my picks. I feel like the best bets are more fun. So let's get to our I'll give you my pick'em real quick here. I'm going to go with the Vancouver Warriors to beat the Toronto Rock. Give me the Black Bears over the Dogs. Firewolves I've got over the Seals. Give me the Swarm to beat the Wings. The Bandits to beat the Thunderbirds. And the Rush to beat the Mammoth. Now, where are we putting our money this weekend, or hypothetical, whatever you want to call it? If these guys actually bet these things. I know one of them does. Leroy, Coach Leroy. I should probably put in Coach on my graphic. I don't know. He's 14-12. Took a 1-3 week last week. We've all been there. Still has a winning record, so the joke's on you guys. Warriors money line versus the Rock. Swarm spread versus the Wings. I also like that play. That's plus 115 on Bet365. And Rush money line against the Mammoth. Again, at minus 144, it still baffles me how crazy that, why it's not 175 or whatever. Captain, put 2 more parlays on the docket so you can have to squint to read this, but we respect him for it. Captain went 3-2 last week. He said, "Hey, boss, good enough for me. I'm back at it again. I'll see you next week." Anyways, the Warriors spread against the Rock. That's plus money on DraftKings. Actually, I believe on every book, even Cool Bet Pat was talking about it. So plus 110 Warriors spread against the Rock. Black Bears money line against the Doggies. A little bit steep at minus 200, but still not terrible. Seals, Firewolves over 22.5. And I decided to start putting in bold yellow the bets, what they count individually. So the whole parlay is one bet, which goes 1 win or 1 loss to your record, but it's so fun when we hit them, right? He's got a plus 304 Warriors, Black Bears, Bandits money line. He's also got a plus 1027. Warriors Rock over 20.5. That line can only be found on Bet365, by the way. So this is a Bet365 parlay. Warriors Rock over, Seals money line against the Firewolves. That's bold, by the way. I'm not mad at it, but I'm just saying my take on his pick. Rush Mammoth under 22.5. I like that as well. And Dogs, Black Bears under 22.5. Hey, sounds like a good week to me. And finally, my best bets are going to be as follows. After a winning week, but a disappointing one, I stayed with 4 single bets and 1 small, I feel pretty easy parlay. I know plus 3. I know parlays are never easy, but plus 367 for the Warriors to beat the Rock. That's Del Bianco over Holochuck. For Matt Vince and the boys to clinch up the number 1 seed, and for the Rush to be a beaten down Mammoth team. Give me my money. Why should I even have to place that bet? What were we talking about? Also, my singular bets, I've got Warriors money line as well. I've got Swarm money line. Couldn't jump on the spread like Leroy, but I obviously we're rooting for either or actually for both. I've got Rush money line. I didn't put a space, but who cares? And I'm also going to go with Saskatchewan, Colorado under 22.5. That 22.5 is on Bet365. The other ones are at 21.5 for the Rush. Mammoth, I capped the game at 19. I will gladly take the extra goal if Vegas / wherever the heck cool bet is gives it to me. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've gone for an hour today. Maybe we'll do that more in the future as the show is at 4 o'clock now. We'll see. Remember, we'll see you guys next week at 4 o'clock for the rest of the season, and then we'll reevaluate at the end of this season. Maybe we'll do an awards preview show with Pat and Adam, or maybe some more than that, or however that works. But I don't know why I thought of that live, but I did. I'm happy I did. Thanks so much for tuning in. Reminding you to go to Daily.LEX where you can check out Leroy, who's sharing amazing stories and relevant news on our Instagram. You can also check out the Twitter page, which always has my hot takes and stats that I found out, like the shooting percentage leaders, courtesy of NLLstats.com, etc. Also, while you're there, check out the amazing merchandise by clicking the link tree in our bios and going to the store, or I always time this perfectly, dailydivelacks.creator-spring.com. Enjoy the games this weekend. Only one game tonight. 4 games tomorrow, and then 1 game Sunday. Cannot wait to talk about with you guys next week. This has been Daily Dive. Have a great and safe weekend. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching Daily Dive. See you next time.